It numbs with a range of 5 millimeters from the puncture. Whatever you see on the package, it literally makes no sense. That stuff is really aggressive towards injured skin. This video is going to be about a tattoo on the neck. It's a blackwork tattoo with some smaller elements. So the needles that I've been using are our четверка and our dvojka. These are our custom needles made by Ruslan Abusev. They were engineered by him specifically for the process of solid ink. I'll also be using our Kruitzer Universal. It's a very powerful machine with an ability of being super delicate with the smallest of needles and very powerful with the large needles. Our tattoo model here has arrived for us for a couple of months to complete her bodysuit tattoo project, which means that we'll be working in quite a fast way, so therefore we'll be making quite a lot in one session, and therefore the neck that I'm going to be doing today is going to be done in one session also, which means that it is going to be quite painful for the person, for our model, and for that reason I'm going to be using tattoo numbing anesthetics, tattoo numbing solutions. I'll be using DKTX and Sustain Blue Gel, both of which can be bought online pretty much by everyone, I think. I don't think that there are any restrictions for buying the product, but I do know that in some countries it's not allowed to use it in the studios. No matter whether you choose to use numbing solutions or not use them, it is always better to do smaller parts for one session rather than making loads and ending up with a very hard healing process. Okay, back to the numbing solutions. DKTX. That's the primary numbing solution that I'm going to be using for this tattoo. One thing that's not good about this anesthetic is that it comes from different suppliers. There's no original supplier. It's made by many different factories, and it always has a different percentage of the substance. Whatever you see on the package, it literally makes no sense. It can say 20%, 30%, super numb, not super numb, I don't know, whatever. They write all kind of stuff on the package, but more or less they have the same substance inside. But every time when you buy some DKTX from a different batch, it will differ slightly. You will also see that the color of the cream, of the actual substance inside, it will also differ. So using this stuff is always at your own risk, and before you use it, always make an allergy test, because there are some people who are allergic to it. Making an allergy test is literally getting a bit of that substance and applying it onto this part here, on the skin of your tattoo client. So after an hour and 40 minutes, you will remove the cling film and check how red the place has gone. After applying the DKTX, the skin normally does go red, but it shouldn't stay red over a full day, over 24 hours after the application. Because if that stays red, that means that the person has an allergy towards the substance inside DKTX, and you shouldn't use it. Another precaution regarding DKTX is that you should never shave the skin before applying DKTX, because that stuff is really aggressive towards injured skin. Even if it has minor injuries like shaved skin or skin that has spots on it, it will affect those places. So, as I have already said, if you're not in a rush, which is best that you aren't, only do one side of the neck. It's better for the application of the numbing cream also, because that way, applying the numbing solution over one side, you won't get any wrinkles on the neck, and therefore you will receive a good numbing result. But here, in our case, I will be applying DKTX to both sides of the neck with our model lying looking forward. So therefore, there may be some spots that are not going to be numbed as well as I'd like them to, but overall it is going to make the process much easier for her. Many ask, how long does DKTX hold for? It holds for around 3-4 hours until you make a puncture of that skin. So once you've made a puncture, it's not going to hold any longer. It will maybe hold for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then the person will start feeling the pain once again when you go back to the spot that you have already tattooed. When you apply the cling film over the numbing solution, you should always watch out for the air pockets. If you have an air pocket under the cling film, you should get a paper towel and kind of wipe it off so it's not there, because in that spot where you have an air pocket, the skin is not going to go numb. You should remember that. And for that reason, you should have the person lying down or sitting down. It is very important that they don't move around, because that way, if they do, they will cause making wrinkles, they will move the cling film, the cream might move over also, and therefore the application is not going to work as well as it would if the person was staying still for the whole time of application. Once you've removed the cling film and scraped off the cream and cleaned the skin with some water and some soap, you will see that the skin has gone slightly red. You can then grab a needle and do a little bit of poking the skin to check that it's gone numb, and that will actually assure them towards the further process. I think this is it regarding the primary TKTX numbing solution, and now let's move on to the process. I'll be using четверка and двойка for the process on our Crew 2 Universal. These needles are made of several third liner solders, which means that they leave a very saturated spot each time when they puncture the skin. And at the same time, they have quite a large gap between them, which means that I'll be able to do the run through, spread out the dots. I'll grab our четверка, go through the middle of all the elements, and then I will apply our secondary anesthetic, and then I will proceed to making the detailed parts close to the outline and spreading the rest of the dots in the middle of the element. There are also some parts that I'm not going to be able to reach comfortably while my model is lying down, so therefore I'll only apply the anesthetic to those parts that I can reach in one go. Once I have done a run through on one side of the neck, I'll then spray it with chlorhexidine solution. I think you have already heard me speaking about that in the healing video instruction that we have on our YouTube. Many of you have written to us saying that you cannot find that chlorhexidine solution in European Union. I'm not sure about the US. There probably may also be a problem with finding that. For some reason in European Union, pharmacies only sell it as mouthwash solution, which is very strange because chlorhexidine in the correct percentage is a very good mild antibacterial solution, and I think that if you want to try that stuff out, I'm not recommending anything, this is just the stuff that we do and it works for us and it works really good. But yeah, if you want to try it out, I suggest you looking for that stuff in the veterinarian pharmacies, and if you find a higher percentage of that solution, you should dilute it in distilled water. So once I've done a run through on one side, I'll then go over to the other side of the neck, and while I'm doing the other side of the neck, I'll spray the part that's already done with chlorhexidine and put it under the cling film. That way it's not going to dry out, and the pores, the punctures, will stay open for the secondary anesthetic. The secondary anesthetic that I'm going to be using is Sustain Blue Gel, and that stuff I will apply for 15 minutes. 13-15 minutes is a good average time for the application of that numbing solution. And a good thing about that numbing solution is that it numbs with a range of 5 millimeters from the puncture of skin, making it a good anesthetic for doing those detailed pieces close to the outline. But I do not advise you to add that stuff over a solid inked area, because it can make the vessels die out, and that will cause necrosis in the further process. So that is exactly why I choose to use that solution with our 112 Magnum or our 49 Magnum or our восьмерка and двойка and четверка needles, which make a run through with a good space in between the punctures, which does not apply to the regular standard classic needles or cartridges where you have the needles soldered very close together. And as I have told you previously, if there are some parts that you're going to be doing in the last moment, it's better not to apply the secondary numbing solution to them just yet. Wait until you do the main part and then do those little bits and pieces that you need to finish off. Because the application of the secondary numbing solution should only be done once. Anything that you do the second or third time will affect the state of the skin, and it's no good for it, trust me. So as you see here, that little bit behind the ear and the further parts that are on the shoulder, on the delta of the shoulder, they are not going to be numbed until the last minute when I actually need to do them. I think I have covered all the hardest parts of tattooing the neck right now. So if there are any other questions that you have regarding application of the tattoo on the neck, do send your comments in the comment box, in the comment section under this video, and I will reply them. Thank you for watching. This was Tonya. Bye.